Hey everyone, Jennifer Lee Chan here from NBC Sports Bay Area. There is an update to the game status for Monday night's game against the Detroit Lions, and that is that Charvarius Ward, known as Mooney, to the team and to a lot of us, has been ruled out for the game. So Charvarius Ward, Mooney will not be playing on Monday night. And from what I understand is that there is good news. Thankfully, he is the player who tragically lost his almost 2-year-old daughter earlier in the year, tragically. And he and his family are expecting a baby boy. And he had told me kind of previously the baby was going to come and he was going to be at home and probably not come back out to play the remainder of the season, whatever that would be. So I believe he is at home with his family and he will remain there for the rest of the season. And so I think he's played his last game as a 49er. He will be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. And from things that he's told me, I feel like he wants to be closer to home. Home is very important to him. His family is very important to him. It was a challenge this year. It's been a challenge since he's been with the 49ers. He doesn't knock any of the time that he's spent with the organization, but it hasn't really felt like home. And he feels like it's been kind of bad luck for him. Yes, they've made it to NFC Championship game, they've made it to a Super Bowl, but personally, life on a personal level for him has been a challenge. When they were about when the team was about to go to Mexico City and play the Arizona Cardinals down there in 2022. Charvarius Ward was not in Colorado Springs. They were doing altitude training. His first child, Amani Joy, was born early, and so he rushed to his family, and Amani Joy was born, and there were complications, and she was born a preemie. She was a Down syndrome child, and then a week later she had open heart surgery. She amazingly lived to almost 2 years. I think they thought she was going to live, as we all did, thought she was going to live much longer than that after she kind of cleared the woods, and she was living with Down syndrome. And this is a story that, it's very meaningful to me because Charvarius Ward was the one who told me first that the reason he was playing so well in 2023, it was like kind of like once week 6, week 7 hit, a light switch flipped and he was playing unbelievable football. He led the league in pass breakups. He always joked that he wanted to make them interceptions instead, but really kind of turned the corner on his 49ers career and started playing lights out and, had an all-pro season in 2023. And then this year it's been a little bit more of a challenge. He hasn't had as good of a year. And throughout the time that I've covered him, I've always asked, hey, how is Amani? How are things going? And he would always give me updates. And so the Thursday before she passed, I had kind of asked him how she was doing, and he said, she's not feeling well, but she would be doing fine. But was having some intestinal issues, some stomach issues. So there were some health issues come towards the end of her life, and maybe he kind of intrinsically knew that something was wrong. I don't know. He didn't tell me any of the details that way, but he did say that, she had been seeing some specialists. So, but still, that doesn't lessen any of the tragedy that happened when she passed just a few months ago. So, in good news, of course, they're having their first son. And when Kyle Shanahan said he was questionable and he was not at the facility, I asked, is it good news? And he said, yes, nothing bad happened. So, without confirmation, and obviously I'm just trying to put two and two together, I believe that Charvarius Ward and his family welcomed a baby boy. So, congratulations to the Ward family if that is the case. I know she's had not necessarily complications, but it hasn't been an easy pregnancy for her. So, hoping for the entire best for the Ward family and the welcoming of their son to the world. And, Charvarius Ward has been a pleasure to cover. Always a smile, always happy, obviously, until the tragedy of losing his daughter. But someone who I've really enjoyed covering. And, just to kind of give you guys a peek behind the curtain of what happens in the locker room, we kind of all go in there and we have, a set time amount. Usually it's about 20 minutes when we're in there, and you can talk to whoever you want to talk to, and there are different organized talks. So on Wednesday it'll be George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey. On Thursday it'll be Nick Bosa and whoever. Like there's these kind of scheduled times. But anytime I had a chance to, when I was near Charvarius Ward's locker, I would always stop by and say hi. And he was always pleasant and always cordial. But I do know that, his first 4 years were in Kansas City, and he kind of felt like it was a little bit more of a community where he would, people in the neighborhood found out who he was, would see him on walks with, his wife or out, out in the neighborhood, and they brought over food and they, made, I guess made him feel welcome in Kansas City. And I mean, he would come home and the snow on his driveway would be plowed. I mean, there's no opportunity to plow his driveway here in California, but just giving me the sense of, what he loved about Kansas City, how it felt like more of a community, more of a small town vibe, which is not necessarily what it's like in California. But wishing all the best to Charvarius Ward, and I'm sure we'll see him down the road wherever he lands. I don't think he comes back to the 49ers as much as they would love to have him back and how great of a player he's been for the organization. I do think he just wants to be geographically closer to home, which is in the Texas area, Texas, I believe. And, just be closer to his family, closer to his son, because of all of the things that have happened to him. And I think he's kind of looking for, again, that kind of small town vibe where, it's, the Bay Area is a big area. And I think sometimes, the Midwestern culture and mentality is different than California, unless you're living in a really small community where everybody knows everybody. So, always wishing the best to Charvarius Ward. I do think he skips this game and the next one, which is Sunday, I believe, against the Arizona Cardinals. It hasn't been formally announced, but it's because the Niners are playing Monday night. I don't think they force them to play Saturday afternoon in Arizona. So I think the game against Arizona will be on Sunday, and that'll be in Arizona. I don't think Charvarius Ward plays there either. Outside of that, those are my updates for today. It's Sunday. I hope you guys are enjoying the watching football with a little less stress. Wow. Looking at the results of the games, the Cowboys got spanked. Holy cow. 41-7 by the Eagles. Eagles have clinched and they will head to the playoffs. New York Giants beat the Colts. That was also surprising because the Colts have been good. I mean, the Colts were 7-9. They lost 45-33 to the New York Giants. Kind of bounce back there. The Bucks just crushed the Panthers 48-14. The Raiders actually beat the Saints. So interesting. Jags beat the Titans 20-13. Bills, of course, beat the Jets. That was not a shocker. The Rams beat the Cardinals on Saturday. Bengals beat the Broncos. That was a fun game to watch. I hope you watched the Bengals Broncos game. If you see a replay of that, watch it. It's a fun one. Chargers beat the Patriots in a blowout. That game was kind of boring. Ravens are beat the Texans 31-2. That was also boring. That was a Wednesday night game. Chiefs over the Steelers, Seahawks over the Bears. That game was entirely boring. But games going on right now, Dolphins and Browns, Packers, Vikings. I'm rooting for Sam Darnold, just because he's an SC grad and he played for the Niners and was just a nice guy also. All right, everybody, that's it. Sunday night game is Commanders Falcons. I'm rooting for Jaden Daniels. I think, it's good for a new team. My personal preference is that teams that haven't made it to the playoffs or to the Super Bowl make it to the playoffs. So I'm hoping the Bills do on that side, the AFC side. And on the other side, either the Commanders or the Lions, Vikings also. I'm rooting against the Chiefs just because. Why not? Anyways, I hope you all are well. I hope you're enjoying your Sunday, and let me know who you're rooting for on Sunday and the last 2 weeks. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.